Hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Wiley. I am here in cryptocurrency land. That's what I'm calling it now, is cryptocurrency land, to tell you a spiritual perspective on cryptocurrency, how I got into cryptocurrency, and how actually my guardian angels and spirit guides helped me to do this, and why I think cryptocurrency is so important for us as humans in the collective consciousness right now, why I think it will continue to grow and prosper. I know we're at a difficult time right now. I've been through that myself. Um, what learning lessons that we have to learn to make the spiritual aspect of this go better for us, which there's no separation between spiritual and your everyday life. So, really, some of the lessons that we can learn right now so that I feel like we can push this hard time forward if we all work through this together. Another thing is there's a lot of people that are trying to get a lot of money off of cryptocurrency, which I know this is going to be an amazing year for it. However, with counseling thousands of clients in reference to prosperity and abundance, there are many blocks that you have to get through and many different ways that you have to get your energy flowing to be able to be prosperous and abundant and to be able to keep it, which is a huge cryptocurrency issue, is being able to keep the profit. So I'm going to be helping you with that as well. First, just to tell you a little bit about my journey, I'm not used to doing YouTube videos, so I know that I don't have some professional setup, and the sound probably isn't perfect, but it doesn't really matter. It's mainly the message. Um, I actually owned a rather large mental health slash primary care practice. And I would, on the side, almost as a second job, do the integrative holistic energy work, channeled readings and healings, you know, different work with different guardian angels. I'm that person that would sit down and tell you what was going to happen, but yet heal it before it happened and help you to manifest your future. So it was like I grew up on two different ends of the spectrum. So I had the whole clinical experience of every day, the primary care office that you would walk in for your doctor's appointment. I would own that, and yet very spiritual and psychic on the other end. So I can wear both hats, but the key is not wearing both hats, actually putting those hats together. And that's what I want to tell everybody. There's not, when I'm counseling clients who are like chief financial officers or very big in business, I do stress the importance of grasping the spiritual component or the intuitive component of things, because I haven't picked up one book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, many others where there's not a spiritual intuitive component. There always is. So I just want you guys to open up your minds. Well, I went through a time where I felt like I was selling my soul to the devil when I had the primary care mental health practice, because of the different pharmaceutical medications that were being distributed, the way I felt I was controlled with having to accept insurances. You know, we were given vaccinations for free and told them that we could charge patients. I mean, I don't know what's to that, but there's something to that. Why would the government give primary care practices free vaccinations and then tell us we're allowed to charge and make profit off of it? So lots of stuff was happening that I just didn't feel right with. I know that the way to really heal is through your frequency in the energy work, because I've done it. So giving up that practice, I was making good money also doing my holistic work, but I only had so many days in the week and I have children, so it's just like kind of a jack of all trades but master of none. So I felt like I was stretching myself thin. I never really got to focus on one thing. So to cut out the income from a primary care and mental health practice with about 5,000 or more patients is quite a bit of income, as the sole owner. So that was a pretty big deal. And it happened in a way that I manifested it to happen, but it happened in a way that I wouldn't wish upon everybody through a healthcare audit. And I decided I had enough, but got rid of the practice, transferred it over, but I had to make some money and I had to make money fast. So I really just listened to the signs. spoke with my spirit guides, told them, I'm open, I have faith, whatever you have to give me, give me. And one of my friends called, and she's like, she's Buddhist. I'm not Buddhist, but I love the principles of Buddhism. And she told me to come to the chapel, that there was a Lama coming that was going to do a wealth empowerment. And she didn't even know what I was going through. She lives about 2 hours away. So I was like, okay, that sounds fun. And I went, and I like practically went out of my body. He was speaking Tibetan, so I didn't know what he was saying, but I was completely under trance at that moment. And I left, I felt really good. Well, a few days later, I got another phone call from a friend who was like, I need to run your bars, which is access bars. It's another therapy, holistic therapy, to help you with some wealth and relationship issues. And I was like, well, I don't need to do that because I just went to the Buddhist empowerment. Well, it never dawned on me that that was part of the Buddhist empowerment. That was like synchronicity. So I ignored her and I didn't go. Well, that Thursday I had scheduled patients all day long for my holistic practice, and this never happens, never. They all canceled. And I was like, what? And I was like, what am I going to do now? And then she calls me and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, and she didn't know what about my practice either, because these are friends that live, a few hours away that I hadn't talked to in a while. So I was like, well, I guess I'm coming to you because of all my patients canceled. And she also did a magnificent healing on me. So I felt like it was the Buddhist empowerment that led me to her. Came back, and I purposely don't watch the news or read the paper. It's very toxic. What your subconscious mind, what digests really plays out in your reality. It's huge. So I don't watch it. I didn't know what cryptocurrency was. I didn't know what Bitcoin was. And my spirit guide said, invest in Bitcoin. I'm trying to get my dates exact. So if I don't have my dates exact, you're going to have to excuse me. But I know that whenever they told me to invest in Bitcoin, it was $5,000. Maybe it was November. It was probably November or the end of October. But it was $5,000 because I remember looking it up. And I didn't do it because I'm like, well, I don't even know what that is. So I didn't do it. And then 2 weeks later, it doubled to 10,000. And I was like, well, shoot, I should have done that. So I basically took $20,000 that I had in my retirement account. Don't spend more than you're willing to lose, right? So I took the $20,000 I had in my retirement account. I had more in there, but I took $20,000 of it and invested it. And my 15-year-old son, he's a little psychic child as well. Very, like I say, the new age children, which I'll get into that with cryptocurrency. He would tell me what to invest in. I mean, I believe my spirit guides were talking through him because he took a liking to it right away. It seems like every single investment he told me about, it just was good. I remember Rec was really big. I think him and I got in that at 9 cents. I got out at $1.10, I believe. Um, I also ran the Tron run, the good run. I got into it very low, got out of it at 40 cents, or something like that. And then trying to think some of the other big gains I'd had. Rec, Tron, Ethereum. I invested in Ethereum. Um, there was a Bounty. Bounty was one. Yeah, Bounty Zero X. That was a good one for him and I. Pearl. We got invested in Pearl. Deep Brain Chain, which is the artificial intelligence. So he studied. He knew everything. And I got up to $140,000. In that whole when it all spiked. And I'd even taken tiny bit of money out, not near as much as what I should have. And I knew to take it out was weird, but I didn't. And he even said, "Mom, you're gonna take your money out. You have to take your money out." But I was too busy. I didn't take it seriously, and I basically went through that whole crash, and then ended up consolidating. I lost I didn't, I mean, I still gained more than what I lost. You know what I mean? So I ended up through that whole thing probably profiting about $40,000. So I didn't lose money. I actually gained it, but it felt like a loss because I had gotten so much money. And now I have that redistributed in what I believe are going to be some really, really good coin. They're going to go fast. So that being said, I only cashed out minimal, which kind of upset me, but there's reasons behind that, which my spirit guides told me, and which I'll get into. Um, so the whole reason why I asked them, like, why cryptocurrency? Remember, I didn't know anything about it, and I'm asking my angels. And to be honest with you, when I say angels, I connect with a very high vibrational frequency type of angelic beings, and I don't really care what anybody thinks of me. So, like, if you don't believe in what I'm saying, then you can just, you don't have to listen to me. But I call them starseed beings. Nikola Tesla, if you read about Nikola Tesla, I love him, love him, love him. He was a super genius, as well as Albert Einstein. Both will tell you of beings that have came to them in their sleep, in their dreams, especially Tesla. He says all of his designs came from information that he got from beings while he was sleeping. He has that energy about him, that starseed energy, that is just it changes the world. It's technology. It's like technical energy. Yeah. So these beings are very high vibrational frequency beings that really are trying to change human consciousness through technology. That's a very good way of putting it. One of the ones that I really channel are called Octurians, which, if you guys want to look up Octurians and cryptocurrency, they actually have their own message about cryptocurrency. It's ACTURIANS. ACTURIANS. It's a very good some YouTube videos about money and cryptocurrency on there. So, my whole belief system is it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that the government can be corrupt and that we're stuck in our old ways. We're stuck in fear. Many people who walk around are walking around, and like in Walking Dead is what I say, like cardboard boxes around their head, thinking that they have to work these jobs that don't make them happy just to be able to get a couple hours in during the day with their family. And that's just not the way it has to be. It just isn't. So there's a lot of control over money, and I'm not a technical analyst, and I'm sure in the heck not a financial analyst, so I would not be the person to go to for that. And I'm going through strictly what I feel and what I channel. So, like I said, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. But there's some stuff going on, and what I feel is there's a certain amount of people that are supposed to make lots and lots and lots of money, and then the rest of the world is following those people, and we are stuck in these rigid patterns of fear, programs, vows, oaths, commitments, and contracts through our energy fields, patterns of behavior that keep us from making money. And that's really the way the world has ran, because if you think about everybody being equal, everybody having a good amount of money, I mean, that there'd be like a revolt, basically. There wouldn't be any control. So, that's why money is the way it is right now. Well, cryptocurrency is going to change that. And, it's going to be phenomenal. It's inevitable. And of course, the government is going to fight against it and try to put up regulations against it. It just makes logical sense. It's like the government, if you think about the government and what it stands for and how much fear that it holds over the people, and that's how it controls the people, they're never going to look at cryptocurrency and say, this is a really good idea. They will, to an extent that makes you think they're accepting, so that you can't see what they're doing blatantly, but they're never going to open the doors, psychologically, and tell you, go invest in cryptocurrency. I mean, that's not what cryptocurrency is about. It's about the people, working with people. It's about us being able to work together and stand independently and basically restructure a whole different financial system. So when people have this fear over the government, you're just falling right back into that pattern. And that's where, when you get involved in cryptocurrency, you have to think to yourself, why am I here? Do I believe in what I'm investing in? do I believe in this whole concept, or am I here just because my friend had a really good experience with it? So one of the things I channel from spirit is definitely get involved in what you believe in. Like for me, I really believe in artificial intelligence. I think it's going to take us a long way spiritually. I think it's going to help us. So that would be, the deep brain chain. That would be deep brain chain. I like bounty because, it's about making things fair. So, um, got involved in bounty. Rec, I've been ripped off by PayPal so many times, it's unreal. So, just because they take 4%, but, so I like rec. So you get into stuff that you research and that you believe in. And I think that things just follow after that. So, one of the things I wrote down here, some things I wanted to talk about. Oh, I talked about why it would not fail. It's just not going to fail. I I just have a very strong feeling it's not going to fail. I mean, if you do the research on, I just feel like it's not, but even the numbers and there's some really good YouTube videos on people who have compared the year 2013 with this year, and they're the same patterns. And Google 2014 or 2013, it's the same thing. Bitcoin's going to crash. Well, it's just, I think people have gotten spoiled because of how much money you can make in such a short period of time that they forget about being patient. So this is a very big test in patience. Not only that, it's a test in community. So we can't recreate a similar system to what we're trying to get out of. That is going to not work. The system we're trying to create, the blockchain system, is much different than our current financial system. So, we need to make sure we don't fall into patterns around that at all. And integrity, one thing about cryptocurrency is we've got to stay in integrity. And that means you need to be a good person. You need to really stand true to your beliefs, your morals, and values, and be an honest, good person. Because there's a lot of stuff that can happen in cryptocurrency that's dishonest, but that's one of the tests, I think, is how we get through that as a community, all coming together. In our society today, when something happens that's dishonest, basically, you go to the police station and they try to have as much manpower as possible to take care of it. We have the FBI and other government organizations, but with cryptocurrency, um, I'm not saying being a vigilante, a cryptocurrency vigilante, but basically, in a sense, that's what we do. We work together to take the dishonesty out of cryptocurrency. So, that's what it's all about. We want to make sure we stick with that. Um, okay, so what I'm going to do, I want to do a healing for you guys. And in order to do the healing, so I'm going to call this part one, and part two I will do tomorrow. You need to answer some very good questions for me to be able to accurately heal you. Sorry. And let me connect to make sure to get all the questions out there. They may sound silly, but bear with me here. Okay, example. I'm going to give you an example of what I mean. So when I lost, not I didn't lose money, but I did lose money. So when I lost my profits in cryptocurrency, I asked my spirit guides, like, why did you do that? Well, one of the things about me is I've never really had great boundaries with who to help and who not to help. It just seems like if I had it, I would give it to you. And sometimes that led to really kind of screwing myself over, with people who weren't quite as honest. And if they needed something, I'd give it to them, and then they're the exact people that come and stab me in the back. Well, whenever I was making that good money off of cryptocurrency, I had some plans to help some people that really I shouldn't have wanted to help, because these are people that if I helped them would only make them worse. These are people that actually need to get up and do for themselves, that if I would have been helping them, I would have made them codependent on me, and I would have enabled their behaviors. So my spirit guide said, you're not going to make that much money, because they told me I can become a millionaire from this. And I believe them. But they said, you need to have the same boundaries if you make $1 and you make $1 million. the same boundaries with people. Stick with those boundaries. That was huge, and that's why they said the loss. It's like you weren't being sensible, is what they told me. So I want you to think about that. I want you to think about your boundaries. Also, what is the worst thing that would happen if you made all the money that you desire? And some people are like, what do you mean? That's what I want. But I want you to think about it. You have all the money that you desire. What's your life going to be like? What's the worst thing that may happen? And I'm not putting a response in your mouth, but some of the responses that I get are everybody would want something from me. Okay, well, that's huge. So I need you to write that down. Everybody would want something from me because we're going to address that. We're going to heal that pattern of energy for you. Or if I make money, I just lose it. Okay, there's a lot of actually, this is really interesting. There's a lot of genetic patterns to losing money. Like if your great grandparents or grandparents or however old you are um, grew up in the Great Depression, there's a fear of actually holding on to money. I might lose it. So people will gain money and lose it really quickly. They can't hold on to it. So if you're a person that can hold on to money, what would be the worst thing about being able to hold on to money? Do you feel like it's safe? Do you feel like you have a safe place to store it? Okay, so what's the worst thing that if you would make all the money you wanted, um, what's the worst thing that would happen if you could hold on to all the money that you wanted? And then this is also big too, because we have identified our purpose in life so much with our jobs that people who sometimes are lost with their purpose in life. So, what is your purpose in life? If you were to have all the money that you desired, what would you do every day? And I don't want you to spend 10 seconds on this question thinking, well, I would go on vacation and I'd buy a house because, you know, those people, actors and actresses and people who make tons of money that end up committing suicide or are severely depressed, money does not buy happiness. It does not buy happiness, but money does make you happy if you're still yourself. So I do believe that there's an infinite amount of energy in this world, and money is just energy. It is just energy. My guardian angels say that all the time. There is an infinite amount of energy for everybody. For everybody. So, if you were to have that infinite amount of energy, if you were, to have all that, what would still be your purpose in life? What would you do? Where you would feel fulfilled. And, I need you to think about that. And is there anything keeping you from that purpose? So then that leads me to fear of exposure. Do you have a fear of exposure? What would be the worst thing that would happen if you showed everybody who you truly were, or showed yourself who you truly are? So those are the questions that I want you to answer. There's little ones that I'm going to go over, like, do you know what unconditional love feels like? You need to know what gratitude feels like. You have to be able to give and receive equally. So that's another one. Can you receive and give equally? And any other block that you may have along the lines of what I'm saying to making money, just write that down. And if you guys have any questions or whatever, I'll put my website below here. You guys can get to my website and, email me or, email me and ask me whatever you need to ask me. And tomorrow I will be actually doing a healing video in reference to this. But I did want to tell you about the new kids too, so I forgot to tell you that. I believe that a lot of the cryptocurrency geniuses, like my child, for example, 15 years old, it's just odd how much he knew about it. Like, it was a second nature to him. Stuff I would study, he would just go to school and he would just know. It was crazy. But I think there's something enlightened about these new kids, and they know what they're doing, and they have this amazing energy around them, and they're here to change the world. So there's some deep respect that we need to give to those children. They are an amazing future for us. And when I first started to be in cryptocurrency land, I would do my due diligence, and I understand not to listen to everything everybody says on YouTube, but I do go to YouTube and listen to videos. It's so funny just to watch these, I'm used to going to business meetings with clinicians and doctors and stuff, and just to watch them sitting down in their basement, with their pajamas on, like it felt like I was in a business meeting with a little kid in their pajamas, and I thought it was neat. I have a high respect for these kids, and they just need to learn to stay in integrity, and that's where, I think we come in as well. So, I will see you during the healing. Thank you.